Remember the story of Jesus with the Gerasenes? He goes to this town where they have the demoniac, and he says his name is Legion. Mm-hmm. That's an interesting little piece there, right? Because he's saying, my name is the crowd. Mm-hmm. My name is the Roman soldiers, Legion, that to
That's
bind
right,
together.
The crowd, yeah.
So my name is the very act of binding together. Mm-hmm. It's like he's necessary for the function of the town to function. Mm-hmm. It's like he's over there self-stoning himself, right? And he's over there wailing and crying in the tombs while the town functions in its relative normalcy in contrast to him, right? So when Jesus heals him of this illness, it's very interesting because the text says the town was terrified. Mm-hmm. They needed him as an enemy other. They needed him to be a benchmark by which they could define their unity together. And when they lost it, they lost everything that made them who they were.
Yeah, well, one of the unanswered questions about how human beings can unite themselves is if it's possible for us to do that in the absence of an identifiable external enemy. But I do think the idea that you could unite yourself with the realization of an identifiable internal enemy is a good one. I mean, I figured out, and I wrote about this a fair bit in 12 Rules for Life. One of the things I've been puzzling out for the last 30 years is I kind of came to understand what it meant for there to be a serpent in the garden. And that meant that you can't make a bounded space and keep everything out. It's not possible. What you try to keep out comes in. And that's something like the tension between the finite and the infinite. Like, for example, this is one of the points I made in the book, is imagine that you decide that you're going to protect your children from all the evil in the world. And so you keep them in the basement and you shelter them from everything. Well, then you become the evil in the world because you're the overprotective parent who won't let your children thrive.
The great mother.
Yeah, exactly. The Oedipal mother. There's no way around it, so you can't do that. You cannot build a space so safe that no evil can emerge from within it, or no chaos, evil. So then the question is, well, what do you do as an antidote to that? And the serpent is in the Garden of Eden is the fact that you can't make a bounded space and get rid of all the complexity of the world. It's going to pop up inside in one form or another. But then there's this strange idea that developed across time that the serpent in the Garden of Eden is Satan. And you think, what the hell does that mean? Because that certainly was not part of the original story, that idea, although it might have been there in a latent form, like the yeast we were talking about. But the idea is that it's something like the serpent in the garden is the snake, and then it's the place of all possible snakes, and then it's the snake that's in your neighbor's heart, right? So that starts to become symbolic. But then finally, it's the snake that's in your own heart,